never will. I don't know what type of town let one mother run something. That's a weak town. Don't know one mother run nothing in Dallas nor Fort Worth. No wonder they mob ties. No wonder everybody got to check in, y'all. Now I'm checking in with the police department. Police department told me, hey man, you got a problem with Mr. James Prince. Austin, we hear you got a problem with James Prince. To me, I see why.
But he don't have a mob. And he not a mafia.
You know, quote unquote celebrities checking in and things like that. I feel like a lot of people when
make that white boy check in. Yeah, make the white boy motorcycle game.
It's never just talk when Charleston White locks in on somebody. It's battle. And right now, that storm's brewing over Houston, aimed straight at J. Prince Sr. and J. Prince Jr. These two aren't just local names. They're power players, movers, and shakers. But this time, what started as a postponed event spiraled into wild accusations about control, politics, and behind-the-scenes manipulation.
Homie, nah, Houston is a player town, homie. Long as you don't check in to J. Prince Jr. J. Prince Jr., everything happened around him. Boy, not the city of Houston. Guess what I said? Man, I don't want to talk no more. I'm gonna sit down and talk to him. If J. Prince want to sit down and talk to me, I'm bringing the FBI and the police.
Is Charleston spilling the truth that others are too scared to touch? Or is he digging himself into a hole he can't climb out of? Because word on the street is, this one's about to explode. I promise God I just got the call, he said. And that alone had people glued to their screens. You can already feel it. Things are about to get messy.
Keep jumping on. You keep jumping. Cause I one of you ESG. I'm telling mob ties. Rapper like y'all can suck my. Do y'all hear that woman's voice? Do y'all hear the pain in that woman's voice? Now you knowing this was a goddamn kids event for over a month, but because J. Prince, because I refused to sit down with you, y'all called my manager and I told you.
When a man like Charleston White decides to target the Princes, both senior and junior, you gotta ask yourself, what does he really know that the rest of us don't? Charleston isn't just another loudmouth online. He's one of the most polarizing voices of this generation. Born and raised in Texas, his story runs from the trenches to redemption. He's lived through the chaos, from the streets to a prison cell, and came out with a new mission. Now he walks a fine line between being a truth teller and a provocateur, mixing raw honesty with hard-learned lessons.
There's no such thing as a mob ties. It's a fictitious name. They're not a mob. Mob ties is like the white boy from Malibu Most Wanted. J. Prince Jr. and his son, they like the Malibu from Most Wanted. They're not no.
For some, he's the ultimate redemption story, a man who turned his pain into purpose. For others, he's the watchdog of the culture, calling out corruption, fake loyalty, and what he calls false street codes. Either way, when Charleston White speaks, Houston listens, even if they don't want to. Charleston White's raw, unapologetic style always leaves people torn. Is he building the community up or just tearing it down for entertainment? That's the question that hangs in the air every time he opens his mouth. But to really understand the heat of this storm, you gotta know who he's firing shots at. The Princes. James Prince Sr. isn't just another record label boss, he's a legend. The man who built Rap-A-Lot Records from the ground up, putting Southern rap on the map and making Houston a powerhouse in hip-hop. But his fame runs deeper than music. It's about his reach, his presence, and the respect he commands in every room he walks into. J. Prince Jr., his son, carries that same weight, but with a new twist. He's bridged generations, blending old-school credibility with new age.
I just got the call from the Houston's mayor's office and the gang unit police department in Houston, Texas. They are scared of Rap-A-Lot. And this is what I'm telling the Houston Police Department. Y'all can suck my.
He's turned mob ties into more than a phrase. It's become part of Houston's identity itself. Together, father and son aren't just a family. They're an institution. Their names echo through music, business, and the streets. And that's exactly why this clash with Charleston White hits so hard. This isn't just a feud. It's history versus disruption, legacy versus rebellion. On one side, Charleston, the reformer, the agitator, the truth teller who lives to expose what others hide. On the other, the princes, symbols of Houston's power and culture, the keepers of a legacy that refuses to fade. When both sides claim to speak for the culture, there's no avoiding the collision. And when legacy meets chaos, fireworks will fly. James Prince Sr., the respected godfather of Rap-A-Lot Records, and his son, J. Prince Jr., the face of the mob ties movement.
There's nothing like the Italian mafias like we've been seeing in the movies. So why? Who gives a mob tie? So I'm ignoring, but instead he's saying it on stage while I'm on stage. So how mob tie? Said this nigga ain't. So I got these two dudes saying, take your mask off.
These aren't men easily challenged. So when Charleston comes for them, it's not just bold. It's like declaring battle in broad daylight. He's not whispering rumors. He's pulling the curtain back on conflicts most wouldn't dare mention. And by doing that, he's shaking the very foundation of Houston's hip-hop power structure. One word at a time. This is where things get real interesting. Because while some folks brush Charleston White off as just another loudmouth online, others see him as a man with nothing left to lose. The kind of man who will say out loud what everybody else only dares to whisper in the dark. He doesn't just throw names around. When he calls out J. Prince and his family, he's touching on something way bigger. We're talking about who really controls Houston, who shapes the story, and who's powerful enough to silence anyone that steps out of line. That's the real question here. Is Charleston chasing clout? Or is he exposing something deeper, something darker about politics, power, and fear in Houston? Because love him or hate him, Charleston White built his whole name on saying the unsayable. He's not polished, not scripted. He's raw. A man who went from gang life to activism, turning his rough past into a voice that cuts through the noise. His post might offend, shock, or even enrage people, but that's what he thrives on. Controversy fuels him, and he knows exactly how to keep people talking. Now, on the other side of this storm, you've got the princes. A dynasty, not just a family.
Oh, you goddamn low down dirty. And I'm gonna tell J. Prince this here. I'm telling mob ties, nigga. Like, y'all can suck my. Do y'all hear that woman's voice? Do y'all hear the pain in that woman's voice? Now, you been knowing this was a goddamn kids event for over a month. But because J. Prince, because I refused to sit down with you, y'all called my manager and I told you I ain't sitting down with no. Now all of a sudden the mayor's office is getting calls. So you mean to tell me you put kids' life in jeopardy? Y'all calling the mayor's office and man, when we know it's a kids event and he speak, we go hurt him at a kids event. That's why I hate you, coward. That's why I hate you, coward.
James Prince Sr. isn't your regular hip-hop figure. He's a living institution in Houston. He built Rap-A-Lot Records from the ground up and embedded the mob ties name into the city's very DNA. His son, J. Prince Jr., carried that same energy into the new era, blending respect, loyalty, and legacy into a brand that's bigger than music itself. Together, they represent something larger, the control, the influence, and the authority that define Houston's identity. So when Charleston starts going at them, it's not just another online beef, it's a cultural collision. His loud, fearless truth-telling crashes straight into the carefully guarded aura of power that surrounds the princes. And that tension, it's electric. But here's where the spark turned into a full-on blaze. Charleston's latest outburst came right after he was reportedly banned from a youth mentorship event in Houston. On paper, it looked like a simple cancellation, but according to Charleston, it was deeper than that. He claims the prince's influence reached behind the scenes to have him removed, and that's when he snapped. He didn't hold back either, saying, "They don't want me in Houston." To Charleston, that wasn't just a snub. It was proof that real power doesn't always play fair. And in his mind, that made the fight personal.
And J. Prince Jr. J. Prince Jr. is the thing happening around him. Boy, not the city of Houston. J. Prince Jr. is trying to play gangster mob, homie, really discrediting his father's name and legacy.
You said LA's a place where rap.
Yeah. Any celebrity, any black celebrity.
I feel like Houston's the same way now.
Nah. That happened to Takeoff was just a fluke. But you can go to Houston and party and have fun all night. Go to different sides of Houston.
I mean, bro, we heard stories of the jeweler that got.
All that setup dealing with J. Prince Jr. and
During one of Charleston White's fiery live streams, he let loose with accusations that sent shockwaves across social media. He claimed the Prince family was pulling strings behind the scenes, trying to shut him down. They're scared of my words. They're using the police, politics, and power to silence me, he shouted, his tone burning with fury. This wasn't just another rant from a man who lives for conflict. This time, it was deeply personal. The tirade quickly turned from frustration to full-blown hostility. Charleston didn't just hint. He called out J. Prince Sr. and Jr. by name, throwing direct insults and daring them to face him head-on. He painted Houston as a city trapped by fear, a place where even law enforcement bends to the Prince's influence. And to prove he wasn't backing down, he flashed what looked like GEs on camera, sending a clear message. He wasn't scared of the fallout one bit. That mix of recklessness and swagger gave his critics exactly what they needed: more ammunition. But Charleston wasn't done stirring the pot. He doubled down by posting screenshots and alleged messages from event organizers, supposedly proving his claims that outside pressure got him booted from the youth event. Whether real or not, those receipts caught fire online, sparking a wave of debate and speculation. Did Charleston really expose the kind of backroom power plays most people are too scared to talk about? Or did he just spin another story to chase clout and clicks?
J. Prince really don't run Houston. He's been a mythical figure in the entertainment hip hop culture world, but in the streets, in the prison systems, he's not recognized.
Either way, what should have been a small local issue blew up into a nationwide talking point. Everyone had an opinion, but what really made it explode was the silence. The Princes, both senior and junior, have stayed completely quiet. No interviews, no statements, nothing. And that silence, it's got people wondering. For a family known for their calm but commanding presence, is this quiet a move of control? Their way of saying Charleston's not worth a response? Or is it a calculated tactic to avoid giving him more shine? Houston itself seems split right down the middle. Some folks, especially city officials and longtime locals, dismiss Charleston's outburst as just another attention-grabbing stunt. They say he's addicted to controversy and knows exactly how to keep his name in the mix. But others can't shake the feeling that behind his wild delivery, there might be a grain of truth, a reflection of how deep influence and fear really run in the city. And that's what keeps everyone watching, because when Charleston White goes quiet, it's never over. It's just the calm before the next eruption. When it comes to the Prince's reach in Houston, it runs deep, real deep. Charleston White's claims that he's been pressured or silenced haven't been confirmed or denied by the Houston Police Department, and that silence alone speaks volumes. Nobody's stepping up to back him, but nobody's shutting him down either. His latest tirade has lit a fire across the hip-hop world.
I don't know what type of town let one run something. That's a weak town. Don't know one motherfucker run nothing in Dallas nor Fort Worth. And surely not no entertainment like a J. Prince kind of guy.
Yeah.
J. Prince really don't run Houston. He's been a mythical figure in the entertainment hip hop culture world, but in the streets, in the prison systems, he's not recognized and identified as a mob boss. He's
Some artists and insiders say Charleston's reckless, that his words could spark real chaos in the streets. But others argue he's just exposing what's been hiding in plain sight, that unchecked power still rules the industry, and few have the guts to challenge it. The hip-hop community is torn right down the middle, and the comment sections are proof. It's chaos out there. One side calls Charleston a fool for picking fights way above his weight class, saying he's just chasing danger for views. The other side, they salute him for having the courage to say what others won't. Love him or hate him, Charleston's name is staying hot. Every argument, every reaction keeps him front and center in his battle with the princes. But underneath all the drama, there's a deeper question burning. Is this just another viral stunt, or is Charleston actually uncovering the real blueprint of how Houston's power works? Because J. Prince Sr. isn't just a music mogul, he's an institution. In boardrooms, neighborhoods, and political circles, his name carries weight. And now Charleston's dragging that quiet influence into the spotlight, daring everyone to look closer. If his claims about canceled events and behind-the-scenes police pressure hold any truth, then what we're seeing isn't just hip-hop politics. It's a peek into the city's entire power structure, a structure that doesn't want its inner workings exposed. And the stakes for Charleston, they couldn't be higher. On one hand, every scandal, every headline keeps his brand alive, financially, legally, and socially. But flashing those W's on camera during his outburst turned things dangerous, painting him as both a provocateur and a target. Critics warn he's dancing too close to forces he can't control, while his supporters call him fearless for standing up to the untouchables.
Charleston White is more real than he is, this Officer Whack 100, because Charleston White will tell you he a rat and he gonna call the police and he gonna do all of that. This rat 100 dude slides up on the real ones and portray to be something that he not, you know what I mean, which makes him more of a threat. So my advice to the hip hop culture with individuals like him, don't let him know where you at when you go to LA, because we know what come with being rotten. You know what I mean? Let's delete the relationships with this wood rat. You know what I mean?
As for the princes, their silence cuts deep. Some say it's strength, a power move that shows they're above the noise. Others see it as avoidance, a quiet that forces everyone else to question just how much control they really have. Either way, this feud has cracked open something bigger than music. It's forcing Houston's hip-hop scene and the black community around it to confront the hard truths about loyalty, influence, and power. Whether Charleston's a truth teller or just an unfiltered agitator, one thing's for sure: he's got the whole city talking. Charleston White's words have lit a fire most people are too scared to start. His rants have pushed the conversation beyond gossip and straight into something deeper. This isn't just about entertainment or beef, it's about power. Who has it, who protects it, and who dares to question it? The clash between Charleston White and the Princes isn't just another online feud. It's a battle over authority, respect, and courage. White has positioned himself as the loud, unfiltered voice of resistance, willing to risk his safety and reputation just to speak truth to power. Whether you see him as reckless or righteous, there's no denying he's shaking the table in ways few ever have. Now the big question: what happens next? Will the Princes' silence signal that Charleston isn't even worth a response? Or will they finally break their quiet and fire back? And what about Charleston? Will he keep pushing? Or will the pressure finally force him to fall back? What this really comes down to is bigger than just one man. It's about who controls Houston's story, its culture, and its future. The city isn't just a hip-hop capital. It's a symbol of influence that stretches way beyond music. And when someone like Charleston starts poking at that foundation, it makes everyone wonder: who's really running things behind the curtain? Now it's your turn. Do you think Charleston White's being reckless for taking aim at giants? Or is he brave for calling out power players most won't even mention? Is this about truth and justice? Or just another chapter in hip-hop's never-ending saga of fame, clout, and control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear it all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Because trust me, this story's just getting started. See you on the next one.